say your name and spell it for me?
My name is Jana Potvin, spelled Jana, Pot, V as in Victor, In.
And what's your job title?
My job title is project engineer.
On the water tower that's being constructed on Power Street, why is it being constructed, and when did work begin on it?
Um, the tower is being constructed to provide additional storage capacity to the city's distribution system. MDE has a recommendation that the city have 1 day supply of storage, and this tower is being built to provide that, to augment the additional storage that we have. Construction began December 2011 was when the notice to proceed was issued, and they actually managed to mobilize on site in early 2012. The engineering began in November or December of 2009.
And what is its cost?
The cost for engineering was about around $128,000. The cost for construction is just over $3 million, almost 3.5 at $3.482 million. MDE provided some funds to offset the cost. We received a $630,000 grant and a $1.5 million principal forgiveness loan, and a 1.61 million, I believe it was, regular loan. And while that was just for the construction costs. That total exceeds the amount of construction because MDE provides allowances for contingencies and administrative costs.
Thank you. How did its unique design come about?
The composite tank was one of the options we allowed the bidders to bid on simply because it can be done at a lower cost than an all welded steel tank. So the concrete pedestal, not only is it cheaper than the steel, it provides also a room where we can have our piping be constructed above ground, and we can also put controls and other equipment inside that building. So strictly, we gave the bidders two options. They could build an all-steel tank or a composite tank, and all the bidders chose to bid on the composite tank simply because they realized that we would go with the cheaper tank. And it's an attractive look, we think.
Okay, yes, please. What will be painted or written on it?
The concrete pedestal won't be painted. It'll remain as is. The reservoir, the steel reservoir bowl, will be painted a sky blue or water tank blue color. And we've entered into an agreement with Salisbury University to have their logo painted on the side. That is actually going to be happening. The painting is scheduled to happen in March of this year, and we'll work with the university to pick out the right direction for that logo.
Okay. What contractor got the job?
Caldwell Tanks out of Louisville, Kentucky, was awarded the job. There were 4 contractors that bid on the project, and they were the lowest bid and the most, well, I should say they were the lowest responsive responsible bidder. That's our logo, our language rather.
When will construction be complete?
The tank has actually reached its elevations, and all the work that's being done inside now is electrical and predominantly. The tank filling is scheduled for May, the end of May this year, but the contractor probably won't be off site until July. So I would say summer 2013, the tank should be online.
And when will it be operational?
That's what I mean. Yeah, summer 2013. Yep.
And who will it serve?
It's actually served the entire distribution system, but predominantly the people in the south end of the city will see the most impact right now.
Was there any issues with the tower behind Thirsties?
No, that tower was constructed in 1937, I believe, and it was out of a company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it just is an old tank, and it's also small. It's only 375,000 gallons, so we're getting 2 million gallons with the new tank, and it was just, we believe it's met its lifespan, and also by having the tank overflow elevation higher, it'll give us that opportunity to increase the pressure system-wide through the entire city. distribution.
Is this a collaboration project? If so, between what departments, firms, and communities?
Um, it's a collaboration only in that the city of Salisbury collaborates with the design engineer and the construction firm and MDE. So within the city's department, only Public Works is involved. The design firm is Birdsall Services. They're based out of New Jersey, and Caldwell Tanks, as I said earlier, was out of Kentucky.
What are its benefits that makes this project necessary?
Predominantly, it's going to help boost the pressure in the southern section of town. It's going to provide additional storage, additional fire storage, and also provide an emergency reserve in case we have operational issues at either one of the plants or within the distribution system itself. It also, by having another 2 million gallons, we have the capacity to support greater economic development on that end of town. And we hope that it's going to alleviate some pressure losses during peak times.
How much water will it hold gallon-wise?
2 million gallons.
And how was its location or the site of the towers determined?
There was an engineering study done by another firm that looked at the whole entire city's treatment facilities and water distribution network, and determined that that would be a prime location. It's on a city-owned lot, and determined that would be the best spot for that tower, as well as its elevation.
And how far from the ground will it stand?
From the ground, the overflow elevation is 130 feet above the ground. I don't quite know what the exact top of the tank is, because there's a little space in between there where the overflow is and the top of it. What I can tell you is that we're limited by our FAA permit, that we can't go higher than 150 feet. But I don't have how many feet that is. I imagine it's about 10 feet above it. But our overflow is what we look at, and that's 130 feet above the ground level.
Okay. Any challenges that were encountered during this project?
No, not really. It's no out of the ordinary challenges. It's always a challenge when you design a project to make sure that everything's all the boxes are checked, and when you're constructing as well and working with MDE for the funding. But everything has worked real smoothly. We're real proud of it and can't wait to get in the service.
Is there anything else interesting you can share with me about the towers that I may not have inquired about, that you may feel is important information?
What I can tell you is that it's our largest elevated storage tank. The other two for size, they're each a 500,000 gallon. Warwick is a 500,000, and Edgemoor is a 500,000. So it'll be our largest tank within the distribution system. The city does have a new 1 million gallon reservoir that was built out at the Paleo Water Treatment Plant off Nagler Mill Road. That one's ground level. It is, the concrete pedestal is, I believe, 48 feet in diameter, and the reservoir itself is like 98 feet in diameter. So it'll cast a big shadow on that area once it's all finished. That's about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it very much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.